Hey y'all, welcome and or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenā, if you didn't know, and today's video is another crime and wine episode. So if y'all ready, let's go. So before we get into the case, I just want to say Happy New Year, everybody. It's 2022. I know y'all saw a video already on this channel this year, but that was recorded in 2019. That was recorded in 2021, and I really tried to get it up in 2021, but the way my software and all that stuff was working, it just was not going to be a thing in 2021. So that video made it into this year. However, this is my first time actually sitting down and talking to y'all this year. So Happy New Year, y'all. I'm so excited for this year. First of all, let me just say thank you so much, because y'all, I reached my goal in 2021 of 500 subscribers. Now I'm at 516 as I make this video right now, and I just want to say thank you to all of y'all, because like, even though 500 subscribers may not seem like a lot, like those are milestones that I cherish, because it's like there's actually people out here who are watching me, who are caring about my content. I love when y'all leave me comments. I love reading them. I love responding to them. So just thank y'all all. Just thank you, y'all. And I can't wait to see where we go from here. So when I'm at 30,000 subscribers, y'all first 500 can be like, I was here in the beginning. I was here first. You know, like, you know. But enough of that, y'all. So we just gonna go ahead and get into the case. And today we're gonna be talking about the tragic death of Ranita Williams. And this one, I mean, they all tragic, but like this one in particular, because of the way it happened, it just makes it that much worse. And so, yeah, we just gonna go ahead and get into it. So Ranita was born on... We're not doing this today, girl. We're not doing this today. It's 2022. Get that shit together. Okay? Ranita was born on September 27, 1990 in Shreveport, Louisiana. And I don't really know where Shreveport is at in Louisiana, so let's look it up. It's about 4.5 hours northwest of New Orleans, because that was... New Orleans is my reference point. So if that's y'all reference point also, then like... It's 4.5 hours northwest of that. Ranita was one of 3 siblings born to her mom, Anita Williams. She was the only girl, and she had 2 brothers. We're gonna go ahead and skip past her childhood, because there's not really much mentioned about that. But in her adulthood, Ranita was a mother. She was a single mother of 3 children, and she actually had the opposite amount, like not the opposite amount. She had the opposite of what her mom had, because her mom had 2 boys and a girl. She had 2 girls and a boy. But even though Ranita was a single mom, that didn't stop her from going out and doing the things that she liked to do, because Ranita liked to go out, have fun, party, be the life of the party. Like she just liked to enjoy herself and enjoy life, pretty much. And having kids didn't stop her at all, because her mama and her brothers were a big support system for her. So not to say they took care of her kids, but like if Ranita wanted to go out, they had no problem taking care of the kids or watching the kids for her. But you know, just because she liked to go out and have fun and enjoy herself on a regular basis don't mean that she didn't take care of her kids herself, because I know it can be like kind of, I don't know, want to say stereotyped, but like it can be looked at as if you're a mother, especially of 3 kids, that you shouldn't be going out and partying and doing all this stuff as much as Ranita was doing. However, even though she did like to do those things, Ranita never missed a beat when it came to her kids. Her kids came first. Like before the partying, before the going out, before the having fun, before doing all of that, Ranita was gonna make sure her kids were straight. If she was dressed, her kids was dressed. If she had new shoes, her kids had new shoes. Like, period. Her kids came first. Now, based off my research, I didn't get an exact, like, what Ranita did for a living. However, I did watch a TV series that says she was an interior decorator, like she decorated people's homes. I found nothing in my own personal research to support that. That's not to say that she wasn't an interior decorator, but what I'm saying is, when I researched it, she wasn't no interior decorator. She was a hustler. And that's not to shame her, that's not to knock her, because I mean, at the end of the day, get your money how you get it. Because you see, the thing about it is, Ranita was an avid social media poster. She posted like almost everything on social media. If she was feeling it, you knew it. If she thought it, she said it. If she was mad, you knew it. If she was going through it in a relationship, like, you knew it. And based off of her social media postings, Ranita was a hustler, okay? Like, point blank, period. And then I saw a video with her brother talking about the incident, and everything that he said in that video to me indicated that, like I said, Ranita got her money how she got it. And I'm gonna just be clear on this, because I don't want y'all to assume that I'm talking about like prostitution or anything that has to do with sex, because that's not what I'm talking about. When I say hustler, I mean like, and this has not been confirmed. I want to make that clear also. This has not been confirmed. This is just based off of what I saw. But I think Ranita was a booster. I think that Ranita dabbled a little bit in the drug trade. And I also believe that Ranita was a gambler. Just flat out. That's how she got her money. And if y'all don't know what a booster is basically a person who goes into stores and they steal a bunch of merchandise and then they sell it on the streets for a lesser price than what it is in the store. And again, that's not to knock her, because if that's what she did, that's what she did. Like I said, get your money how you get it. That's just me stating what I believe is a fact. Like I said, I don't know that for a fact, but based off everything that I saw, that's what all signs was pointing to. So y'all take that with a grain of salt, or y'all can take it as truth. I'm just letting y'all know what I think. So at some point in her life, in like 2013 or 2014, when she was 22 or 23 years old, Ranita met this man named Jonathan. And when her and Jonathan met, they kicked it. Everything was cool. They formed a relationship, and everything was good for a little bit. And Jonathan met the kids. Like, he did stuff for her. He did stuff for the kids. Her family liked him, and everything was just pretty much good. But then at some point, it's not 100%, I'm not 100% sure when this happened, but at some point, Jonathan moved to Houston from Shreveport. And Houston is about 4 hours away from Shreveport. So either they was going to have to break up, or they was going to have to figure out how a long distance relationship was going to work. And they ended up deciding that they would just be in a long-term relationship, in a long distance, not long-term, in a long-distance relationship. Now, the only problem with this long-distance relationship was that it wasn't an exclusive one, at least not on Jonathan's part. Because you see, when Jonathan moved to Houston, he actually moved with a woman, and that woman's name is Sharika Taylor. So Jonathan goes to Houston and lives, and I don't know if they moved together or if Sharika was there and then Jonathan moved with her. Either way, Jonathan and Sharika are now in Houston, and Ranita is over here in Shreveport being faithful. You see the problem? And at some point, she learned about Sharika, and at some point, Sharika learned about her. And instead of leaving him, either one of the ladies, they went back and forth about him. And like I said earlier, Ranita is an avid social media user. She posts damn near her life on social media. And so Ranita would say something about Sharika, Sharika would say something about Ranita, and then vice versa. Sharika would say something, and then Ranita would say something. Because Ranita not one to hold her tongue. Ranita, she gonna tell you how she feels. She ain't no half-stepping with her. You gonna know. Now, mind you, throughout all of this back and forth and being petty on Facebook and social media, Jonathan was often coming back to Shreveport and having dealings with Ranita. So he's in a full-blown like relationship with Sharika, but coming back and being in a full-blown relationship with Ranita. And nothing really ever good comes from this type of situation, honestly. So at some point, Sharika posts on Facebook and says, you know it's real because we got our names tatted, blah, blah, blah. Because her and Jonathan had went and got matching tattoos. Jonathan has Sharika's name on his chest, and Sharika has Jonathan's name, I don't know, somewhere. And Sharika was tagging Jonathan in this stuff. So Ranita was definitely seeing it. And then she'll say something. And this went on for like 4 or 5 years. Just the back and forth, him being here, him being there. Just the whole thing. And at some point, Ranita, she was just sick of it. She was tired of it. She didn't want to do this no more. She knew she could do better. She knew she deserved better. And so she cut off communication. She stopped talking to Jonathan. She didn't want to have nothing to do with him no more. And you would think that would kind of just like be the end of it, or like he'd just be like, all right, cool, she's not fooling with me no more. I got this life over here. I'm happy over here. Cool, whatever. But that's not exactly how it went, because once Ranita cut Jonathan off and was like serious, because they was on and off for this like 4 and 5 years. Like it'd be, again, a back and forth. Like she'd be with him, she wouldn't be with him, she would talk to him, she wouldn't talk to him. But when Ranita got serious about it, she was serious about it. She even moved on. She started talking to somebody else. And even though Jonathan wasn't living in Shreveport, he still had homeboys. He had eyes and ears in Shreveport. So he knew what Ranita was up to, even while he wasn't there. And the fact that she started talking to somebody else, it kind of set in like, dog, she really serious about not being with me no more. Like, she for real? And it's like, bruh, you got a whole family over here. You either engaged to or married to this woman right now. You have a tattoo of her name on your chest. Why you worried about what Ranita doing? So anyways, one night, Ranita is out with her friends. She in the club, doing what she do, partying, having a good time, enjoying herself. And at some point during the night, just like most of us women do, we go to the bathroom. I don't know if she was like initiating the buddy system at this point, or if she had went solo. Either way, she goes to the bathroom and Jonathan pops up. Like, this man literally goes into the women's bathroom, like follows her into the women's bathroom. I don't even know if she knew Jonathan was in town at this point. But anyway, so she's in the bathroom and Jonathan just like pops up out of nowhere. And he talking to her like, oh my God, you really done with me? You really not gonna talk to me? This really what we doing? Blah, 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 blah. And Ranita like, yeah, bro, like I'm through. I'm done with this. I don't need this. I don't need you. We through. And Jonathan like choke her up, like literally chokes her up, put his hand around her neck and choke her up in the women's bathroom of this club. Like, just wilds out on her. And Ranita, a fighter, she not about to just stand there and get choked up. So she, fight him off or whatever. But she really just can't believe this man did this. So I think Ranita ended up just going back into the club after she fight him off and telling her friends about it. Finished partying, doing what she was doing. And I don't want to say they let the incident go, but like they moved past it. Jonathan and Ranita moved past that incident. And I don't know what year that was. I do believe that might have been 2017 or 2018, but I'm not 100% sure when that exactly happened. But now it's April 2018, and Ranita, she kind of done with Jonathan, but like not really. Like, they not in a relationship, but they still fooling around. And he's still with Sharika, and the back and forth is continued. It's started back up. So it's like a Friday. It's like the first week in April, and it's like a Thursday. It's like a Friday or a Saturday. And Jonathan comes back to Shreveport from Houston, and him and Ranita, they get together and they have sex that Friday and that Saturday. So the 6th and the 7th, they had sex on those days, and then Jonathan goes back to Houston. And when Jonathan's in Houston, his fiance or his wife, I don't know if they were like married or like just engaged at this point, but either way, Sharika goes live on Facebook, and she's talking all this crap about Ranita, about, I really don't even know what it was about, but she's just saying a bunch of stuff about Ranita. And again, Ranita not want to hold her tongue, so she goes live on Facebook and she goes off on Sharika. Then she goes and says, your man was just over here and we just did the damn do on Friday and Saturday. So let's talk about that, about how your man still want me, okay? And this just set off a whole chain reaction that like should have never even been, because Jonathan flipped his shit. Let's just say that. So now the date is April 12th. It's a Thursday. And Ranita just pretty much doing her regular thing, doing what she usually do on the school day, which is get her kids ready for school. So she get the kids ready for school. She sent them off, and she just pretty much just chilling around the house with her mama and her brother, when Jonathan pulls up to the house and like kick in the door. And he just kicked the door in and just bust in, talking all this crap like, why you go live? Like, why would you do that? You gonna have to apologize, blah, 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 and talking all this mess. And then I don't know what happens. If I'm not mistaken, he go back outside and then he comes back into the house with a gun this time. And her mom is in the kitchen. So Ranita's mom, Anita, she in the kitchen and she come back and she see like that Jonathan got a gun and she like, I'm about to call the police. And once she say this, Jonathan let off a shot in her direction, in Anita's direction. And luckily the shot missed her head, but just by a little bit, because it like flew past her ear and then like, you know, she ran out the back door, I believe. And she said that it was so close, like her ear was literally ringing once he let off this shot. So she goes out the back door and she runs to a neighbor's house to call the police. Meanwhile, while she's on the phone with the police, Ranita and her brother Jay are inside the house, and Jonathan is like going off. So he instructs Ranita to go live on Facebook. But like I said, Ranita, she talk her mess on Facebook. She talk a lot of mess on Facebook. And her page was actually blocked. So she was in Facebook jail because of whatever the hell she was posting that particular week. This wasn't nothing new to Ranita. She was always in Facebook jail. But this particular time, like, it was kind of like necessary for her to go live because this man got a gun in the house and he's telling her to go live and she can't. So he instructs her to use her brother's phone. So her brother logged into his Facebook and Ranita goes live from her brother's page. So she gets on there and she's saying, you know, how, you know, you can hear Jonathan in the background and you can actually see him walking back and forth while Ranita is on live. And I believe she's talking to her auntie as well, either on the phone or her auntie is communicating with her through live. And you can just hear her talking to her, you know, saying, yes, Aunt Lola, whatever, whatever. And Jonathan is like, you live, go live. You want to be famous? I'm going to make you famous. Bitches want to be famous. You going to be famous. Apologize. And Ranita obviously does exactly what Jonathan says. She apologized. She said, you know, I didn't have no business going live on that girl like that. I apologize to everybody. Like, you know, that wasn't my intention. You know, I just, you know, I'm sorry. And so Jonathan's still in the background going off. And mind y'all, her mom called the police already from the neighbor's house. So the police end up showing up. So once the police show up and Jonathan sees this, you can hear, you can't hear the sirens. I didn't hear the sirens. Maybe you can, but I didn't hear them. But the police pull up and then Jonathan sees the police and they surrounding the house. And so he like let off like 3 or 4 shots at the police. So the police kind of, they don't leave, but they retreat because they don't have no shields. They got like just pistols. He got an SK. I think it was an SK. It was either SK or AK. And like, you know, like they want to get him out and they want to get Ranita and Jay out, but they want to do it as safely as possible. And so they kind of back off, but they still there. And so you can see Jonathan walking back and forth, still saying the same stuff. Like, bitches want to be famous. You going to be famous today. You going to be famous today. And Ranita's still talking and, you know, still apologizing. And then the next thing you hear is Ranita saying, stop, Jonathan, stop. And then about 4 or 5 shots let off. And then that's it. And he says, now, bitch, game over. Game over. And Ranita was shot in the leg. I think she was shot in the leg once and then in the chest area the rest of the times. And while Jonathan was shooting Ranita, her brother took that opportunity to run out of the house. So he's out of the house and her mom's out of the house. Ranita is shot and then Jonathan is still in the house with the gun and the police are outside with guns. So now the police pretty much just have a standoff with Jonathan. He shot at them a couple more times. He ended up wounding 2 officers. And the standoff lasts for like another hour, like 80 minutes, I think they said. And so I forgot to say that at some point, I don't know when he called her, but at some point during this, he called Sharika. And I think it might have been after he shot Ranita. I don't know, but I know for a fact that he called Sharika, and he's pretty much just telling her, you know, now ain't nobody gonna laugh at you no more, ain't nobody gonna do this, do that, whatever to you no more. You ain't gonna be disrespected, blah blah blah, blah. And somehow she ends up convincing him to, you know, just turn himself in and just give it all up. So he gives up and he walk out. They take him into custody. And obviously they take Ranita to the hospital, and unfortunately she does pass away from her injuries. And it was all caught on Facebook Live. And that's why I said in the beginning that this one hit a little bit different, because of the way it was done. It's like this was broadcast over the internet for people to see. Like, I don't know, man. That just don't sit right with me. And I know I'm like chuckling a little bit, but it's not because it's like funny or anything like that. It's just because it's like, again, I've said it before, like sometimes some things are so what the fuck that it's just like, it's like, it's not comical, but like, it just be like so what the fuck that it's almost comical. Yeah. But anyways, now they got Jonathan in custody, and they ask him like, are you high or drunk? Are you under the influence? And he's like, well, I'm not going to use that as an excuse. And then they're like, well, I mean, I'm asking you, are you coherent? Like, can you make a sound judgment right now? Do you understand what's going on? Do you understand the ramifications of the situation? And he's like, yes, I do. I know everything that's going on. I know what happened. I know how to make a complete statement. I can complete a thought. And so they were like, well, do you want to give a statement to us right now, or what you're trying to do? And so he's like, yeah, I can give a statement. So basically he offered to give a statement. I don't know why I'm going through all of this like word for word, but he basically offers like, yeah, I can give a statement right now. I'm coherent. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not like super high or drunk right now. And so they get to talking to him, and this is where Jonathan's like narcissistic personality shines bright, because he's pretty much crying in there and like boo-hooing about how he didn't want Sharika to be disrespected no more. He was tired of people laughing at her. He was tired of people hurting her. Her mental state was off. You know, she would have committed, she would have hurt herself. I just didn't want anybody to hurt her anymore. All the while, it's like, bro, you give all them bitches a reason to sit up there laughing at her. You're the main source of disrespect. You are the main reason she's being disrespected. Like, you're disrespecting her, sir. What do you mean you tired of people hurting her? You're hurting her. Anyways, so he says that he woke up that morning and he already knew what he was about to do. He went to his auntie house, grabbed his gun. He went to a pawn shop, grabbed some bullets, and he knew that he was on his way to kill Ranita. And he called Sharika like, oh, she not gonna be laughing at you no more. Ain't nobody gonna be laughing at you no more. She gonna apologize and this and that. And Sharika's like, Jonathan, what is you about to do? Like, what is you doing? What's about to happen? Like, what are you about to do? And he obviously don't tell her what he about to do, but he goes ahead and does it anyways. And then like, oh yeah, you see, I fixed it. I got it all together. You straight, we straight. Like, no, bruh. Like, no. Anyways, so he's in there crying, and he's like pretty much blaming Ranita for everything. She went live on her knowing that she was gonna hurt herself. She went live on her talking about she was on the 10th floor, blah 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 blah. And then so the officers, they wasn't really paying his cries or his tears no attention. They just kept asking him questions like, bro, you ain't get no sympathy from me, and he ain't get no sympathy from like pretty much anybody who watched it either, because I read those comments and everybody was like, bro, you wild. Anyway, so the police was like, well, how she know? And I guess the 10th floor is like a psych ward. I don't know, but I think that's what that is. But the officers was like, well, how would she know that like Sharika was on the 10th floor? Is it true? He was like, yeah, you know, me and her had a conversation. She been on 10th floor a couple times. It's like, bro, you're giving Ranita ammunition. You're giving her all the reason to talk. You giving her ammunition to talk about this girl. You giving her stuff to talk about. Like, bro, and I'm not blaming Ranita and I'm not blaming Sharika, because at the end of the day, it's all on Jonathan, because Jonathan could have been telling Sharika one thing like, oh no, I don't fool with her, she crazy, she always calling me, she always texting me, doing this and that, da, 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 she won't leave me alone, blah, blah, blah. And he could be telling Ranita the same thing about Sharika, like, oh nah man, I'm only there for the kids, blah blah blah, she crazy, I don't even fool her like that, we don't even sleep in the same bed, blah blah blah. Like, you don't nobody know what he was telling either one of these girls. So I don't blame either one of them, and I don't claim either, and I'm not gonna claim either one of them as the side chick. But what I will say is it's never worth it. If he shows you that he's with somebody else, or if it's proven that he's with another woman, let it go. Just let it go. He ain't no man ever worth it. And the same for a man. I mean, it's less common, but like, if a woman with two men, it ain't never worth it, because y'all see what happened to Maynard and Eve's Bayou. So I'm just saying, that's all I'm saying. It's like, it ain't never worth it. Like, never, 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 never. If they was somebody else, just let them go be, because they was never yours to begin with. That's on both sides. Shit, both of y'all leave his ass or her. Anyways, but since he gave a full confession, he pled guilty to the murder. Yes, he pled guilty to the murder, and he was ultimately sentenced to life plus 100 years. So he ain't never getting out of jail, y'all. And if he try to appeal it, I don't even think he's ever gonna be up for appeal. I think his sentence is just what it is. It's life plus 100 years. You ain't never getting out of jail. You gonna die there, and serves you right. But yeah, y'all, that is all I have for this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I got a playlist right here if y'all want to see more of these videos. And y'all can subscribe right over here in that little circle right there. Boop, 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 click it. And yeah, thank you so very much for watching. I can't wait to see y'all in the next video. Happy New Year, and I will see y'all later.